Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, season 6, episode 10. I know I'm like always mad that Summer House is long now, but I'm like not even mad that Summer House is long now because it's so funny to
I
me.
gotta say, as long as they give good episodes, I'm good. I just my
Yeah,
deal
none of those
breaker,
fillers.
my deal breaker is 20 episodes where they have like 5 filler episodes.
Don't give us fillers.
Yeah,
We want nothing to do
you
with the
can give
fillers.
me max of 2 fillers because I understand you gotta like, especially for a show like this, it's like calendar
You have
weekend,
to
like
build it up. Yeah.
exactly.
I get it. Okay. Before we get into the episode though, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have It's About the Pastas of Vanderpump Rules podcast. We have One Season Wonders, the show where Meredith and I watch a show that only had one season and talk about why it didn't get renewed. Also, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. We actually have 3 new reviews I was telling Meredith about
I'm so excited.
three 5-star reviews nonetheless.
I didn't look at all.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, so the first one is from Jess Harf and it's titled So Good. I
Ooh.
literally laugh out loud listening to this podcast. It's so lighthearted and just a good time. Oh my god. Just like I love making people laugh. So to hear that stalking is
My
making people laugh.
whole life goal is just to make people laugh.
I know. I loved that. Okay, and then we have Sunny Mumble, also 5 stars, titled it Summer House, and says, "This is a pretty good podcast on Summer House. Love Summer House."
Well,
Same to
same
like we do
and
too.
same.
Same and same. Thanks. Thank you. Amazing. And then our third one, this one made me laugh out loud because I got the notification for it in a meeting. And so I was in this meeting and I chuckled when I read this because it truly shows that even though Meredith and I are podcasters, we are sometimes dumb.
Oh
So
no.
it's
Oh
5 stars.
no.
It's from Mike Ned D and it's titled Love It. And then the body of the review is, but please say wherewithal, not whereabouts. Yep. We probably did that. Yep.
1,000%. I get so into what I'm talking about.
I don't speak
Sometimes I
English.
bet I just talk plain gibberish.
Mike, you're right. We should say wherewithal, not whereabouts. We're idiots.
I'm trying
So
to think of
sorry.
when we possibly use this word. Now
I
I'm literally going to stay up all night thinking about this. Thanks, Mike.
the problem is whereabouts is a pretty big word for me. Well, I don't know if it was me that said it.
I need a
Sorry.
follow-up review with the episode and the timestamp, please.
Yeah, the times. Can you just DM us the timestamp so we can laugh at how dumb we are? Because that would be.
Let us in on the
We
joke.
need proof. Proof or it didn't happen, Mike. No, it probably happened, but
1,000%
okay.
happened.
Let me get back to our intro. So also follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I usually post all these polls and like questions and all these tweets, and I ask you your opinions because I want to know. I want to know if you're on my side. I want to know if you're thinking the same as me. So please follow us on Instagram so you can vote in my polls so that I know what's happening in the world. Because Twitter, a lot of the times, is only one way. My way.
That's 100% true. It's
the
wonderful
majority.
because I don't have Twitter. I mean, I could
yeah.
go on and like, I could go on Twitter, but I don't do that. So Alicia is honestly doing this for me too. I love nothing more
I'm doing
than
God's work.
yes, you're aggregating all the funny shit for me.
I love it. So then also join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to our pre-shows where Meredith and I just catch up and talk about whatever we want. Also, you get access to any episodes that we record early. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after show that we do when we go back and watch old seasons, and we will say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Ashley, Chris, Courtney, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Kimberly, Cameron, Tiffany, Tracy, Emily, Gina, Jennifer, Kelsey, Mariah, Sarah, and Zoe. Oh, we got two Sarahs.
Ooh.
Hi, two
Shout
Sarahs.
out to the crew.
Guys, thank you so much. We cannot tell you how happy we are when a new patron joins, when someone comments on our things. Like we text about it. We're like, oh my God, someone gave us their opinion. I can't wait to read it.
Yes.
Someone joined our Patreon. Oh my God, we get more opinions.
We
get
talk
more
about it all
friends.
week.
Literally our whole friendship is based off you guys. So if you guys leave us, then we're not friends anymore.
You know how like some couples stay together because they have kids? It's like Alicia and I are like even better friends because we have everyone.
We have the Patreon. Okay, and then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, we ask your opinions during the live shows. And we do have a few thoughts that I will share. But also we pick a patron of the episode. And I've been really bad about this because before there were only like 3 options. And before I knew
one of them was my dad.
Yeah. So Chris is never getting another patron of the week. I'm so sorry, Chris, but we have like actual people who watch the shows. But what I'm going to do this week, so I have to keep better track. But this week I'm going to give it to Cameron because she has given us a many thoughts. She gave us a bunch of thoughts off the pre-show, which we asked you to do. Comment on the pre-show stuff for $1. If you really want to give us your opinion, we'll talk about it on the pre-show. But she also gave us thoughts on the last episode that now I'm going to share with you, Meredith. So Cameron said she watched this episode twice. Definitely one of the best episodes of all time. Which I agree. Fighting is TV gold. I love it. So then Cameron says, I'm just commenting as I listen. Is that bad? What even is Patreon etiquette? Do whatever you want. Dustin usually comments while he listens, and we appreciate that. And we get like tons of thoughts from him.
In
so
all
do
forms.
it.
But then I love Alicia being stressed about what to say because there's 70 million things.
I love Dustin giving me like it is helping me like what's it called when I read really fast?
I don't know.
Speed read. I'm a speed reading genius.
What is it called when I read really fast?
It's called speed reading. That's a thing.
Like Mike said, we're not the smartest.
No, obviously. But Jackie, and I'm just using Jackie and Dustin because they've been with us longest, but Jackie will wait and then put all her thoughts into one post. So like, do whatever you want. We'll read it either way. And then she says, I felt so much secondhand embarrassment for Sierra. Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. Austin really did something. But then we also have a shout out from Jackie, which I'm going to read, or like a little thought from Jackie, which we haven't heard from Jackie in a long time. So I'm like so excited that she still loves us. So she says, so I asked in today's post, I said, if you don't watch the episode before we record, tell me what you think is going to happen, because we know there's a fight coming between Danielle and Sierra. So whose team you on? You know, like before it starts, everyone knows I'm team Danielle.
I know it's hard to talk to you about it.
Jackie says team Danielle, just based on some of her comments on social media, feels like it got escalated and not by her or was warranted. Looking forward to seeing if Luke chimes in at all afterward. I agree. I was like, my dude Luke.
Which it did end kind of like in the middle of it all. So
so we have no idea
what's going to happen next week.
All I honestly saw was Craig like kind of helped break it up, and maybe a security guard.
Yes, it was definitely someone from production or security guard, and then Craig pulled Danielle.
All black. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into it. We're very excited.
Me too. Yay.
Okay. So previously on Summer House, it was Lindsay's birthday. For like the past 3 episodes, it's been Lindsay's birthday.
It's been the past 3 weeks because we had an in-between week.
We've been celebrating Lindsay's birthday longer than she probably even wants.
Honestly, technically week 4 because we were like at midnight on her birthday this episode.
So stressed.
I'm exhausted.
I know. I'm tired from this birthday. But Carl brought Mackenzie. Kyle's thinking about getting a prenup. Maya just came out of an engagement, but then good old Danielle set her up with Oliver. Craig and Paige are just chilling. Remember, he doesn't want to commit. Like the funniest conversation on the couch where he basically said, you can't see anyone else, but you're not my girlfriend. It was fantastic.
And thank God we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page. But speaking of Paige, haha, no pun intended. She's ended things with Andrea. Lindsay has 78-year-old eggs, and she's having a hot hub summer. Austin came to visit, and Sierra's still in love with Austin, but then Lindsay and Austin made out all night. And then why are two girls going after each other when he's the problem? And then Lindsay ended up finding a different man to sleep with. So Austin never got laid this episode, which kind of made me the happiest.
I was about to say was the highlight of the episode.
In the end, Austin won nothing. So,
I mean, the editing, chef's kiss on that. Not Austin.
God, hilarious. So it is Sunday, 2:24 a.m. Lindsay's banging this guy, Lucio or something.
Luciano, I think.
Luciano, that sounds more right. I missed it and didn't get to write
Definitely
it down.
Italian.
Yeah, very Italian. No, Argentinian.
Oh,
he's going back to Argentina.
Oh man, not Austin is all we know.
He's not Austin. But you know who is Austin? That guy arm wrestling Luke in the kitchen.
That Muppet downstairs.
Muppet. Oh my God, this man is a straight up. He is known as the Muppet.
You know what?
Straight up.
He was trolling himself too. I sent you that story.
I know,
last
that was
week.
funny. That was funny. He's taking it in a good light. We appreciate.
He's
it.
avoiding, but like leaning into
drama.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So while Luke and Austin, the Muppet, are arm wrestling, drunk Kyle tells him to keep it down. And Austin apologizes by smacking Kyle's tight ass.
Oh God.
So yeah, Lindsay's still sleeping with Luciano. Meanwhile, Austin can't even get into bed and take his pants off. He almost falls, which I've done this before, and it's like not a fun feeling.
I can't imagine having cameras there to capture it, especially when you know you're about to be hated on by the whole world.
Because after I do it, I go, "That is so embarrassing!" Like out loud, you're like, to myself.
Your ankles get like caught in your jeans, and you're like, "How do I get out of these?"
I know exactly what happened. I feel, but I've never been videotaped, so. So it's Sunday morning, 9:57 a.m. Lindsay and this guy are still hooking up. They've never gone to bed.
And now like the rest of the house is up and like full on in on it with them.
Paige does not like hearing it, which like I wouldn't either.
No, this is like the worst on a Sunday too. You're like, I have to get home. I just want to be home. And now I have to listen to this.
It also just sounds like low moaning. Like it's super, like they're trying to hide it. Super weird.
And it's definitely not a quickie.
Yeah, no.
It's not a Fast and Furious. It's going to be happening for a while.
This has been happening since 2:30 this morning. They never stopped.
Oh my God.
Okay, so they figure out it's just a random guy, which I thought would make them feel happy because like it's not Austin.
You know what? But I feel like it's like, well, what was the point of this anyways? What was the point of all the makeouts yesterday and it caused all this drama and you're not even going to seal the deal? Oh my.
No point.
That's how I would have felt. I would have been like, really? Like, what was this all for? They
would have been madder if she sealed.
You know what? Let's be really honest. They're going to be pissed either way.
Yeah, both ways. Also, just because we're not going to glaze over it, because it did get a lot of hits on Twitter.
Yes.
No one is happy that Paige slut shamed Lindsay.
Even in the interview. It was just in their interview, right?
When she's like, what is this? Like a
brothel?
Like you just make out with
I guess
hook up with a bunch of different guys.
In the bed too, like Paige said, like, man, it's like a new guy. Like we're now through 10 of them or something.
Like, yeah. Sierra said that. She was like, you've like 10 guys, which like people went in because Paige was hooking up with 2 guys this summer. And then Sierra hooked up with Alex and Carl and like was having a hot summer.
Yeah.
So
the number doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people you're sleeping with. If you're having a ball, that's great. Now
yes.
We both agree the Austin situation is independent of how many people she's sleeping with.
They are clearly just mad about the Austin situation.
And they're taking it out.
They're taking it out.
And trying to push her down on any level. Like it's kind of one of those things that you're mad about something and you redirect it. Like they're just trying to find anything to be pissed at Lindsay about. but like, let's not do this to people. If you're mad about something, let's talk about that situation.
That thing. Yeah. Let Lindsay have her hot hub summer and call it a day.
And let's be pissed about the Austin situation, not about Luciano.
Yeah. So speaking of Luciano, he's gone back to Argentina.
I miss that.
So one night stand for reals. But then Lindsay's got to like drive him home. So that kind of sucks. Because I would just want to kick him out.
I'd be like, get on that Uber app and bye-bye.
I think because he's from Argentina, he doesn't have Uber or something. Like you know,
download that Uber app.
It's different in different countries. Okay, so meanwhile, this was my favorite. This was one of my favorite scenes. Same. Maya is in bed with Robert and Danielle, in between, like smack in the middle.
Yeah.
I loved it. This is the threesome I didn't even know I wanted.
Oh my God, I loved it so much. I didn't realize Maya was there until she started talking.
She was like, hey, mom and dad. And she's like laid there and Robert is unfazed.
Well, she's above covers too. And they're like snuggled in.
I loved it. So, yeah, they say bye to that random guy. Robert spots him.
Oh my God. He's like, oh, there he is. He just passed the door. And the girls are like,
he's
what?
Still here? I loved it.
Did you not hear him?
So Lindsay, because she's dressed, she's like going to drive her Argentinian man home. And Austin calls her into his room and she's like, what? And he's like, how are you dressed? I couldn't even get my pants off last night. I woke up naked and afraid, which if that describes Austin's night, that is the best. That's the best.
I was about to say, wow, he's really on point with how he should have woken up this morning.
I woke up naked and afraid.
Wait, naked, alone and afraid.
And afraid, even better. So Lindsay's like, yeah, great. I will leave soon. I got to drive what's his nuts home.
I mean, appreciate her attitude with Austin. I do appreciate it. Like, yeah, I got my man. Like, gotta go.
Pants on. I hope you like figured that out. Goodbye. But yeah, she did her job. She had fun on her birthday. Check. Done.
She had a lot of fun on her birthday.
She's got 28-year-old eggs. You know what? She's celebrating. So then Amanda dying under the covers to the point that the editors have to tell us where Amanda is.
Dude, I stared at that for a long time to be like, I still don't see where her whole body is.
So then Carl and Mackenzie are like weirdly dancing in his room, but then Mackenzie goes down to get some coffee and she felt really welcomed in the house. And now it's time to clean. And my dude Robert, like always, is superstar killing the cleaning game. Carl is so happy that Mackenzie came, like so happy to the point that he pokes his eye out on a palm tree. He like can't even focus. He's so smitten. Andrea, he showered while everyone was fighting. He didn't care. I think Andrea, like he's the type where it makes him really anxious when people fight and he like he can't handle it.
I agree. And we kind of see that again this episode.
Yeah, he's like not one to fight. But yeah, Carl and Mackenzie did not have sex. So Lindsay was the only one banging last night because we know Kyle and Amanda definitely didn't.
And we know Austin was naked, alone, and afraid.
So yeah, I love Carl and Maya's like little friendships because we weren't even on them and we just hear Carl's mic go, good morning, Maya. And I was like,
I know. Is he the one who thanked her for the cookies too?
Yeah, thank you for the cookies. I love Austin's here. So like Lindsay's not here, but Austin's here. So he like, of course, walks up to Sierra because his other girl is gone. So he's got this girl.
Yep. So he's like back with Sierra.
He's like, hey, what's up? And she's like, what? Why are you talking
to
me?
Well, because everybody's like, waking up and hugging. And so he walks up and obviously expects a hug. She does dumb nothing.
In a farmer hat.
But who else walked up? Was it Luke? I think Luke walked up and Sierra gave him a big hug and he was standing right next to Austin.
Luke is like, what are you doing? Why?
We're best friends now.
I was just here to pick up my maple syrup. Why are you hugging me? But yeah, so it's very awkward. They're like not getting along and vibing this morning.
It feels like Austin doesn't even understand why she's like mad though. He's like, what's wrong?
He's like, what's your deal? And she's like,
my really? Deal. Seriously? Okay.
He's like, okay, bye. He does that thing where he's like, don't talk then.
Oh my God.
Dumb Muppet. So Maya then does my second favorite scene where she's hanging out with Robert and Danielle again. And she's like, what does Oliver do for, she's questioning him. What does he do for work? Like how'd you meet him? Where does he live?
What's the IG handle? Yeah.
Yeah. She goes, what's his social? And I knew what she meant. I immediately went, she wants his social security. Like I knew, but then Danielle tells her his actual like handle on Instagram. Yeah. And she's like, no, I don't care.
No. I don't want that.
I usually ask for a PIN number. What's his PIN number?
Oh, no. You just need to know his birthday.
Yeah. What's his birthday?
No guy's smart enough to not use their birthday, and they all set it up before that was illegal, or like they wouldn't let you do that.
I love it. Austin just wants to leave. Like he's rearing to leave. This man does not want to be in this Hamptons.
Well, I think he's longer. Like finally caught the wind that like, yes, Sears definitely pissed.
He's the problem.
He's like, gotta get out of here. I am not welcome anymore. Paige yelled at me and told me I was a guest, and Sierra won't hug me.
So I'm a loser.
And Lindsay's not here, so I have no allies.
Well, Lindsay's back and they like weirdly flirt. He's like, can we leave yet? Like, I feel naked, afraid, and alone or whatever. And she's like, well, we'll always have each other. And he goes, Lindsay, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. And I'm like, literal barf. I actually recently, I do not know why or how this started, but one of my guy friends has recently started saying like these types of things to me, and I hate it. I like want to die.
Like we'll always have each other.
Like the other day I said something like he was surprised I figured something out, and I was like, I'm not as dumb as I look. And he goes, you don't look dumb at all. You are beautiful.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh God.
If you can find like a funny moment where it's like the joke fits in and it is kind of flirty, I'm in on that. But like just weird comments, I'm not in for.
I'm beautiful. Oh, it was weird. A lot of things have been happening, but I don't know how Lindsay like sneaks
because she likes him.
I know, but it's weird. Anyway, so now we're in Sierra and Paige's room, and Sierra's crying because she feels frustrated and embarrassed. And I get this because when I'm frustrated, I also cry because I don't know what else to do.
And it's like hard when like Austin pretends like it's normal, and you're just like, what the fuck? It's not normal. A lot happened yesterday.
Yeah. And also finally, Paige is like, Austin's an asshole. And we're all like, yes.
Oh my God. I loved that.
Crazy.
I loved that.
And finally, Sierra is upset about Austin. She says she has opened herself up to Austin. He has no regard for her feelings. Thank God we're finally.
I love Paige. Like I mean, I don't think she did this, but it feels like that talk where you like take your friend and shake him by the shoulders, and it's like oh he sucks. Stop. And you kind of need your friend to do that, to be like to give you that pep, to be like he does suck. You deserve better. Stop doing this. Yeah.
So bye, Robert. He's the first to leave. Amanda's being a slow little packer because her and Kyle keep getting lost in that big room together. But then they decide to go outside for a talk because, this was like the first weekend that they didn't fight. And it was, even though it has felt like 4 weeks. It was only one weekend.
You know what? Fight. We had one good weekend. So you know what? I'm Kyle and I'm going to start a fight.
That's why Lindsay's birthday was so long, because the editors were like, we have to show that Kyle and Amanda don't fight. We're going to make it seem like a month.
We have to give proof that they should get married.
Yeah, because everyone was turning against
Okay. Us. Yeah, I'm still curious how we get there.
So, we sit outside, we talk. We sit down, talk about paint on Kyle's leg, and then Kyle's like, you know what else we got to do? We got to insure that ring and talk about a prenup. And Amanda's like, what? And he's just like, I've been putting it off for 3 years because it made me uncomfortable.
Investors ask everybody this question.
Yeah. And Amanda's very like, why do we need a prenup? That's like preparing for separation and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And basically says, Kyle should have brought this up a while ago if he was really concerned.
Which I never even thought about. And I was like, you are so right. You have been engaged for 3 years, and like a month and a half before the wedding is when you're going to talk about this.
Listen, I am very pro prenup. So I disagree with Amanda personally, by saying that you're preparing for separation.
Yes.
I personally don't think that.
I concur with you.
What I have always said is the minute, like whenever I'm in a really serious relationship, I do say, if this goes somewhere, I'm a big believer in prenups. Like everyone knows how I feel.
Honestly, I think the reason she's feeling this way is because it's coming last minute. It seems sketchy. It just like
a business now that he can keep her out of. Or
he had a business when they got engaged. So like if you would have just been from the get-go, like, listen, I'm not a big Sheena Brock fan and how they handled all their situation on Vanderpump, but they literally, before they got engaged, prepared a prenup.
Got the prenup.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my thing is if you want to have a prenup, fine, go for it.
Be totally open and honest about it.
But like people are going to know before they get engaged to me that I'm getting a prenup.
You can't like slide it in and try and be like conniving. And I feel like
we're getting married
I don't think
40
Kyle's
days.
being conniving. I just think he's thoughtless about important things like this.
I do too. And I think it looks like he's like, well, I have all this stuff to lose that I don't want you to have.
Yes.
Kind of like that's what it looks like.
Yeah. People who don't talk about prenups don't understand what they involve.
Yeah. So Amanda then says she needs a reason why it's a good idea for her to sign the prenup.
Which I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing either. But you're not going to spring this on me.
You're not going to just hand me a document and tell me to sign it ever. You need to explain like why we are going to do this.
Why are we going to do this? Why is this beneficial? And I do think it would be beneficial for them to sign a prenup.
I agree.
Someone on Twitter was like,
for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Someone on Twitter was like, Kyle wants to sign a prenup because he knows they're going to divorce. Amanda doesn't want to sign a prenup because she knows they're going to divorce. Which I don't know, but that was a funny tweet. I see.
That's how this comes off though.
Yes. It comes off both ways like that. And I'm just like, I hate it.
Which for Amanda, I'm like, hell no, you're not signing a prenup.
I'm there. Listen, if I'm dating, again, I'm very pro prenup, but if I'm dating some dude that's way richer than me and he never brings up a prenup, I'm probably not going to bring it up first.
But go listen to the Bravo docket, everybody, because in the Erica Jane situation, it would have helped her because when you sign away money, you also sign away liability. So the only way,
that's true.
One helpful thing for Amanda in this situation is if the company ever goes under, she wouldn't be liable.
She's not liable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I don't have any debt. So that would be, I'm like very lucky. So that would be.
You would put everything in there, like student loans, like different things. Like even if it honestly just prepares your financials a lot of the time.
It does. And if you have children, it prepares like what happens with children. And whatever. It's just not brought up.
Whatever you want to make it is what I don't think people understand.
It's just not brought up properly.
Yeah.
I think she should have one of those clauses where it's if you cheat on me, I get half. If we divorce, I get nothing. But if you cheat on me, because he's done it in the past, I'd be like, this is the only way you're not going to cheat on me is for your money to be up in it.
That's actually true. He would care more about the money in the business.
Care about his money. Jeff Bezos style, baby. That ex-wife, genius.
She's doing beautiful things with her money.
Good for her. Okay, it's Sunday, 2:03. So Amanda and Kyle, the most adult decision in the world. Kyle's going to look into a prenup and present it to Amanda later. Wow. I can't believe we didn't fight.
Wonder when this is going to happen though.
Literally. Carl and Mackenzie go by the pool. Mackenzie enjoyed hanging out with everyone and Carl wants to keep getting to know Mackenzie, but he really wants to take things slow. And then Carl starts crying because, it was the 1-year anniversary of his brother and he is, I don't want to say struggling in his sobriety, but it can't be mentally easy to live in this house
with grief. I mean, I've never lost somebody that close to me, thankfully. But people say it doesn't just go away. And a lot of times you get tidal waves. So he may be great in his sobriety, but that doesn't mean mentally he's stable great this weekend. Yeah. It's a lot to deal with.
Like I said, I can't imagine this whole situation is easy to be sober in, no matter how mentally great you are. But that is his first priority because he does want to do that to honor his family and his brother. But Carl's just absolutely my fucking favorite. This man sheds a tear and I fucking melt. I just melt.
I appreciate how his journey on this show because you can see how genuine he is. And he and Mackenzie talk about taking things slow because they want to make sure it's right. And Mackenzie basically says I'm good with that because I know you're not doing this just so you can date other people. You're doing this because you do want to make sure it's right. Like there's a lot going on, and she can see that he's been through a lot, and it's a very genuine conversation, despite it not like moving fast and them not sleeping together.
It's like a really cute moment that I really enjoyed.
This is the opposite of the Craig Page conversation, where they like are on the same page, but it's not because they want to do other shit.
Yeah, they're just on the same page because they're like both good human beings at this point. This is one I did really like Mackenzie. Too bad she doesn't stay long.
I'm curious. We do get her on this episode for 5 seconds, but I'm curious if we ever see her again.
I don't know. Maybe. It's hard.
They talk about
at Kyle and Amanda's wedding, because that's when Carl started to get the feels.
Yes, they talk about how the group wanted Mackenzie as the +1. So I'm like, what happens between now and the wedding?
Oh, I know. So everyone leaves. Andrea still takes Paige's luggage out. It's very cute.
He's such a great person.
He's 10 out of 10 fantastic. So now we're in New York City. On Monday, Paige is doing her fashion videos. We totally skip Tuesday because it's the worst day of the week. On Wednesday, Danielle FaceTimes her mom, and her mom, like all parents, has no idea how to hold a phone. So you properly FaceTime. My mom likes to hold it under her chin.
Yeah, that's how my dad is.
Straight up her nose. So then also on Wednesday, Maya's going on a date at Moxie. She calls Sierra. She wants to be bailed out. And Sierra's like, I'm not bailing you out. You can do this. She hasn't been on a first date in 6 years. This girl's nervous, and I get it. And all of her as a single woman dating in New York, all of her thoughts are valid.
Her like what ifs. Yeah.
What if I hate him? What if I want to leave in 2 seconds? What if he tries to murder me? What if he tries to touch me and I don't want to be touched?
And it's like, what if the waitress comes up and thinks we're a couple, and it's like, oh, we're not there yet. Like, how do you explain that? It's all like real scenarios that I'm like, oh my God, I never want to go on a first date again.
I like first dates. I'm the opposite, because I go into it with, if I genuinely hate this person, I never have to see them again. And I don't care about them.
I don't like uncomfortable social situations, and I don't like when people don't talk, and it just makes me so nervous that that's what's going to happen.
I love a good first
and that I'm going to be the person just talking about myself, but I have to just fill the conversation, because I can't be silent.
First dates are great. Second dates suck, because then you have to decide if you actually like them.
Yeah, because you can't go to a third date if you don't like them.
No, that's when you have to be like, I really do like them. Second dates are the worst.
This could actually go somewhere.
Yeah, because then you gotta be vulnerable.
Because you've already done the 2 dates, that it's harder to be like, sorry, it's a no.
Yeah, it's rough. But after 3 dates, if you decide you don't like them, you can't end it over text. Second date, you can still end over text. It's third date.
No,
you have to do it in person.
That's a huge risk.
That's why the second date's a lot of pressure.
It's key.
Because then basically, because I don't like to dump people, if I decide to go on a third date, basically I gotta wait for them to end things with me.
Or we're getting married.
Or I die.
Yeah.
Or I need to die. But yeah, all of her thoughts are valid. She meets Oliver. He did great first date moves. He gets the chair for her. He waited for her to get a drink.
Yes.
That is so prime. That is so nice.
Yes.
And then they open up with like, what's new since the last time I saw you? And Oliver again has a great story. He doesn't go like, nothing. I was just working. He says, on the way here, I got trapped in an elevator.
Which like breaks the ice. Think about it. Like now you're not like, oh, I can't tell any embarrassing stories. Like I got to be perfect on this date. No, Oliver's not perfect. He's going to tell you about how 5 minutes ago he was in an elevator in Jersey because Jersey sucks.
Yeah. That's because
I mean,
Jersey. I literally laughed out loud. He doesn't say Jersey sucks.
No, she does.
I implies it. But
that's just kidding.
Great.
Jersey's
that's
great. We love anybody listening from Jersey.
If I ask you what's new, tell me anything. Tell me you stepped on a rat. Tell me that you ran into a pool.
Show up with something.
Literally anything. So this was fantastic. And then I didn't love this, but once you become comfortable, and Maya's a chef, he goes, what's your last meal? What would that be?
But I like that conversation.
If someone said that to me, I'd be like, I don't know. But she's a chef.
I'm so into food that like when I was abroad, we used to, if we were sad, talk about like your dream breakfast plate. Like I love talking about food and plates like that. So like I would love that question.
My favorite question was, what's the best kind of French fry?
That was a good
waffle
one.
fries, and that's a good answer because if someone just says like a plain steak fry, they're a serial killer. Get out of there.
Well, I wanted a description why, and maybe he gave it and they cut it out, but like
a waffle fry is a good fry.
No, I'm not saying it's not, but you can't just answer a question with like a one word. You got to like keep it going with like, oh, because XYZ, and what's your favorite?
So Meredith, what's the best kind of fry?
I love shoestring fries. I like how crunchy they are. But I need a sauce.
Skinny.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Plain French fries are fucking weird. Get a sauce.
It depends. I like if they're like sweet potato fries and things like that, no sauce.
I know, dude. We're talking about real potato fries here.
Then yes, I love sauces. Especially, I'm not a ketchup person though. I want like a fun sauce.
I'm with Maya. I'm with Maya. I like mayo on my French fries.
I don't, but London I can do a mayo sauce.
like an aioli.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love an ale.
I just can't. Sauces. In Europe, they do straight mayo, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't join this club.
Mayo. I love it.
It's just the idea of it.
My favorite type of fry is a curly fry because I feel like there's crunch on all edges, but it's still like kind of fun to play. You can slightly play with a curly fry without looking weird. And usually curly fries have great seasoning on them.
That is
Obviously,
true.
There are unseasoned curly fries, but think of a place that has an unseasoned curly fry. I can't.
Not many.
Arby's has seasoned curly fries.
That's exactly what I was imagining. Arby's curly fries.
Okay. The weird thing about Oliver is though he doesn't like white condiments, including sour cream.
When she asked what white condiments, because they were obviously talking about mayo, I couldn't really think of anything. And then he listed a bunch, and I was like,
blue cheese.
That one I'm out on. Yeah.
But he said sour cream.
No sour cream on anything. Like
I can't eat sour cream. I'm lactose intolerant.
But it's not because you don't like white condiments. It's because you're lactose intolerant.
So the fact that it's a color is kind of funny. I can't drink like brown pop. I like hate.
Really?
I won't do it.
And by pop, she means soda.
Sorry. Jesus Christ.
For us non-pop people.
I can't drink.
I could crush a Dr. Pepper all day, every day.
It's weird. Okay, but overall, we really paid attention on this date. It was fantastic.
I love
food. Overall, there's some potential. Maya was feeling it. She's a little giddy, so she's trying to stop herself because she's also trying to be realistic.
There's nothing worse than falling on a first date or the first time you meet someone, because it's just the percentage of Heartbreak City is real high.
So sad. But they go to get another drink and she wants to see him again. So this was great. If you go to two spots,
love that. Yes. But think about it. Like, this is really great. Cause then it's like, okay, let's not do the camera thing. And like, let's actually get to know each other.
Let's actually go on a date and not talk about G-rated curly fries. Let's talk about your last relationship, Oliver.
Yes. Yeah. Like, let's get into the kind of real embarrassing stuff.
Yeah. So Thursday, I'm going to skip through this a lot because this was less interesting for me. But on Thursday, we go to Paige's, Amanda's there, Sierra's there. We go to the roof. Although I will say she's got a dope ass roof right next to my favorite building, the Empire State Building.
Oh my God, her apartment, which like I knew it was amazing because I've seen it on Instagram, but
Hollingsworth.
Okay, can you confirm, does Sierra live in the building?
No.
I thought she lives down the street then.
She lives down the street.
Okay.
Carl and Lindsay live in the same building.
That's it.
But yeah, so we're on the roof. We're digging into these pastries, except Paige. Paige doesn't eat these pastries.
They really struggled. Back to the food. They really struggled with those pastries.
Just take a pastry. They're like ripping little pieces off each pastry. Give me this croissant.
I'm gonna
shove the whole thing in my mouth at once.
That croissant has chocolate in the middle. What else do you think is going on?
What is this? Is this a banana nut?
Oh my God.
Just eat it. Just figure it out once you eat it. You should only ask that if you have an allergy.
Yeah.
Like, other than that,
are you allergic to nuts? If so, you can't ask what this is.
They also don't finish their fucking smoothies. My ass would have drank that in 2 seconds and had to pee. We're not meant to be friends with this group of girls.
We can do we can do Maya and Oliver food talk, not these girls food talk.
Yeah.
God.
What's your favorite potato? Not Amanda going, I've already fit into my dress, so I can eat this half of croissant.
Didn't she say that like she only has 7 weeks to go? I was like, we still have 7 weeks.
40 days. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. 7 weeks. Oh my God. Wait, we have 7 weeks till the end of this season.
I thought that's what she
wait.
said, but you just said 40 days and that's like 5 weeks.
No, 5 times 7 is 45, right? No, not. That's
No,
9. No,
5
that's
times
9.
7 is 35.
35. Yeah, no, so that makes sense because over the weekend it was 40 days ish.
I guess.
We have like
math is
40
hard,
days.
especially on the spot. I'm
Oh
just
my God,
gonna
I
say
can't
yes
believe
to it
I
all.
didn't get that right. I'm an accountant. No one tell my place of work. So whatever. Sierra has not heard, or she's not excited to see Austin at the wedding. She hasn't heard from him at all. She then starts crying.
And he's still in the city, is what she says.
Like,
and that's pretty shitty.
That's shitty. Where is he? Did he get a hotel?
Fuck cares?
True, dumb Muppet. Yeah, he's still in the city, doesn't reach out. And Amanda is like, don't blame Lindsay. I blame Austin. Like, he's a shit.
Yes.
He's the worst. And then like Lindsay doesn't give a fuck. And Paige is like, that's the problem.
Which is what I was saying last week. Which
is fair. But then, so Sierra's crying over Austin, right? But then as soon as Lindsay mentioned, she goes straight into piss mode.
I was about to say, she's raging out.
I'm like, girl, she's not even here. Save it. But Paige basically thinks that Lindsay is doing this to get back at Sierra from Vermont, which I don't agree with. I think she just doesn't care.
I think there's an underlying current of like, Lindsay is a little excited that she did this to Sierra.
I think she's just excited to have Austin and she's not going to care about anyone else's feelings. Like both these girls are somehow infatuated with this Muppet man. Like your feelings don't matter, Sierra, because she loves Muppet man. Okay, so it's finally Friday, 3:12. We're heading to the Hamptons and we find out Andrea's going to cook tonight because him and Luke are driving down together, which I love. And maybe Carl
looked like he was like already there.
I don't know. So then we get Craig and Paige who are driving up. He's coming out for the weekend.
I was shocked to see Craig, but I guess between all the Lindsay drama, we did know Craig was coming soon.
Yeah, it was like a 3-second moment last episode. They're holding hands. Paige is very excited. Craig
like here. Playing with their hands. Yeah. It's like they are very cuddly in this car ride.
It's getting, this is when I'm like, it's getting serious. And then we talk and it doesn't get serious because basically she's like, once summer is over, which is when she's done filming, she'll come down to Charleston and then they'll hang out there. And then he's like, oh, and I'd love you to come to Delaware to my parents' house. And Paige in her interview is like,
oh,
you're obsessed with me. You love me. You want to marry me, which is what, yes, if you're going to introduce me to your parents, you want to date me.
Your mind goes immediately there.
I don't know why it wouldn't. I literally can't fathom why it wouldn't go there. But then he says he doesn't want Paige to overthink this. And he continues to say that they're not official, even if she meets his parents.
Yeah, because then she's like, yeah, but you're like introducing me to his parents. And he goes, I mean, not really. I'm taking you to my home and my parents will be there.
Listen, you're not meeting my parents until you give me the rock, basically. Like, I don't understand why
you committed to me for the rest of my life.
He's like, hey, I'm just going to bring my friend Paige and we're going to like have sex with my parents. Okay. I was like, what?
That's the thing is like, you could bring a group of friends. If it was like a group of them doing this,
a group,
I would understand him being like, listen, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Like, this is like us all hanging there. Like, we're going to all do this. I really like you though, but like, it's not that yet. But like, no, you're just taking her. This means something.
Agreed. So yeah, Sierra and Maya are driving together. There's this hurricane coming tomorrow. But Sierra just wants to have fun this weekend, focus on herself. Maya's going to be her hype man. And then Sierra says she's going to have a conversation with Lindsay at dinner. Maya's like, no, oh man. I said no. It was the worst.
The show reason I'm like, great, this is going to cause drama, but I'm like, this isn't the drama I want. We know what's coming, but it's like, I don't want like a house. I find this to be a more serious situation. Well, like a kind of a serious situation. Like, I think Sierra has a lot of emotions and like she needs to sit down with Lindsay and really share her emotions about why she's so hurt to be heard.
This isn't one of those, you know how sometimes at dinner we'll be like joking about something and then it'll like somehow a fight will ensue and we like don't even know how we got there.
It's like a disagreement.
That's fun. That's a fine time. This is you are going in to ruin this dinner for everyone out, like me on the sidelines. I'm just gonna try fucking Carl.
When everybody wasn't involved in this situation, like, we're gonna get a lot of opinions that don't fucking matter. Like, I know you love Danielle, but like, I don't care what Danielle has to say about this, and I don't care what Paige has to say about this. Like, Lindsay and Sierra.
It should have been Lindsay and Sierra.
Yes.
So everyone starts showing up at the house. We're gonna have Italian food. Alex is not here this weekend. R.I.P.
Listen to the pre-show if you want some thoughts.
So Andrea's very excited. He's gonna cook this whole Italian meal. It's a holiday in Italy right now.
Oh my God, I tried to write it down and I was like,
I have no idea. Sorry.
All I know is they all take a vacation for 2 weeks and I'm in.
Yeah, down. But everyone takes a vacation and you basically celebrate. You celebrate your family and your friends and you eat Italian food and drink wine. This is my type of vacation. Yes. But it's very important to Andrea. And so he wants to spread that love and share it with his housemates. So he's going to cook this big Italian feast, which then I'm especially like, do not bring drama to this dinner. Do not do it. This like, poor man.
This is fine. This isn't just like, hey, we're grilling a burger.
Yeah. Argue over burgers. Argue over tacos. Are you drunk? Don't argue here. But yeah, so Paige and Craig show up. Craig's weirdly nervous that no one's gonna like to see him.
Well, and I think he's talking about Andrea.
Because of Austin? Oh
no, I think it's Andrea.
Well, Andrea jumps right into his arms. He's very happy.
Commend Andrea for just like getting over, like not making things weird, because he could have.
This is what you do, Sierra and Lindsay. This is how you act to both of them. Act like an adult. If you have a grievance, what did Andrea do? He pulled Craig aside and said, hey, these are my issues.
And he talked to Paige and like wanted to know where they were at. Like they were direct, but one-on-one too.
Also, Austin, be fucking direct. So
Austin, just don't come back to this house. Petition signed.
Literally. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna speak like the Italians all night with our hands flying. It's gonna be great. Lindsay and Danielle get here. Carl gets Danielle's luggage, not Lindsay's. Which one is he dating?
I love that. Like, Danielle sees Carl walk out and she's like, perfect timing, and she's like, I see what you did there, and Lindsay's like, I see what you did there, Danielle, only your suitcase.
The best. Danielle's not lifting a fucking finger.
Hell no.
So so the alarm starts going off as a hurricane warning. Look out.
Oh my God. I literally heard that in my, because I watched this with headphones in, and I was like, is there a fire alarm going off in my house?
Fire alarm. Yeah, I was like, what, are they lighting something on fire? And then no, that's the storm warning. But you know what? Luke is the only one with any common sense. He says we need enough alcohol and food. Do we have that?
Yes. Thank you, Luke. Good question.
Thank you.
Also, is this the storm last summer when it just like completely flooded New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've gotten a few floods since I moved here, but I wasn't in New York for Hurricane Henry. So this was like another one. Okay. But this I think was the bad one. Yeah. So Sierra's not excited because we have a hurricane and then we also have Lindsay. So what she does is she damages a counter by chopping roses and not using a cutting board like Luke told her to. My dude,
aren't they like granite countertops though?
She makes a mark though.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she like hit it and then you see her like rubbing something and Luke's like, I told you to use a cutting board. She's like,
oh, I missed this.
I have a heavy hand.
Oh, I thought they were granite countertops. You could do that shit on like really nice countertops.
Rough. Okay, so Kyle and Amanda are here. Kyle's mad because there's no parking. I get it. My dude deserves some fucking parking.
Well, he's never like the last one here.
I know. Are you fucking kidding me? And Amanda's like, just let me out.
Back in the day, they used to have like 2 cars and like 3 people would take the train, and now they like all bring their own car. Danielle
was a big train taker.
She was
the train taker. they offer, the whole house is like, should we do a charcuterie board? And Andrea's like, the fuck is that?
What is that?
Fuck
Which
is
makes
that
me so
charcuterie?
bad because I love a good charcuterie board.
I think he calls it just like a cheese board. What the fuck's
Yeah,
charcuterie?
that's true. I mean, here's the thing, a charcuterie board is actually just meat. Fromage is a cheese board, and they're separate in real places. Like
he does fromage.
Yeah, so you like, they don't actually make it like that in Italy. You would just order some cheeses and some meat separately.
We're unrefined. We're gonna get a next review of like, Alicia didn't know what a fucking real charcuterie board was. I'm gonna be like, nope.
It's okay.
Nope.
I mean, they don't do it in Italy like that. Like you, like at an Italian restaurant, you order
I have
had
like
charcuterie.
a fromage plate, but I don't know. I've never thought
the
about
lactose intolerance is intolerance.
Yeah,
like,
no, it
throw
was
me all the cheese.
Yeah, Paris was rough. Anyway, so Danielle takes Maya outside because she wants to know everything, the beginning, the end, the middle of the day with Oliver. Maya wants to do it again. They've been texting every day, and Danielle's like very excited. She's like giddy. Like,
I know. I think Danielle's taken aback that like it's going so well.
Danielle set it up, man. If this works out, her record prime.
She gets straight to heaven, said Paige.
Oh shit. A couple I set up just got married.
So you are going straight to heaven. Maybe they need to change that rule.
Yeah. Oliver though called Danielle and told Danielle that Maya is so fucking dope. That's a dude thing. That's so funny.
But I wonder if I feel like that puts pressure on Maya. If somebody told me that, I'd be like, oh my God, am I that cool?
No, that would make me happy because then it'd be like, okay, I'm giddy.
He likes
trying to hide it. He likes me, so my giddiness is like okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
We're on the same page.
You're okay. And then Lindsay shows up with some wine to refill, which like we all need. So then Maya asks Lindsay how she is, and Lindsay like doesn't understand this question because she's like, great, I've just been recovering from a party.
This is so awkward. And Maya's like, well, there's some tension I think we need to like just be aware of.
Oh my God. And then Lindsay says, well, Sierra should have come to me to have a conversation. Bravo immediately cuts
to
like, Sierra saying, Lindsay, can we talk? And Lindsay going, nope. Nope, absolutely not. Which like, okay, Lindsay, she did try to have a conversation. It was at a bad time.
I was going to say, Lindsay was hammered. She probably doesn't remember that. Which we agreed on that was not the time for the conversation. But I think if Sierra would have done that the next morning, that was the reaction she still would have gotten.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
I just don't think Lindsay ever wanted that conversation. Yeah.
Lindsay straight up doesn't want this conversation. So Lindsay says she gets why Sierra's hurt, but she's like, how is that on me? Which like, she's being ridiculously like selfish at this point. But I also kind of get it where it's like, I'm not the first person you should be mad at. I'm the second person you should be mad at.
Correct. I think that's correct.
Yes.
So but what I don't like is that Lindsay says like that they have a 10-year age difference and Sierra just needs to learn to not give a fuck. And like, I don't think age defines how you feel about your feelings. I think like age can help you grow and like understand yourself and handle yourself better. But like, I'm a person who's very in my feelings, and me aging 10 years won't change that. Like they're just very different people. And I don't like that Lindsay's like, well, we're 10 years different. So like, she just needs to not care. Like she just needs to care less. And like, I don't like that approach of it.
I didn't love that approach, but I do think with age, you don't, because what I have heard,
you mature and you handle yourself.
My old boss at the company we used to work at actually would tell me like, your 30s are going to be the best time of your life. And I'd always be like, why? And he would say, because you stop giving a fuck about what other people think. So I do think there comes some sort of maturity where you're just like,
I think some people are like that though. I think I will be more about me, but I think I will always really care about like, I think I'll always get my feelings hurt. I think I will just get myself into less situations where people can hurt my feelings in this way. Yeah. But like, I think no matter what age I was in, if this happened to me, I'd be really upset, but I wouldn't get myself into the Austin situation. So this may not happen when I'm 35.
I think that's it. Just like,
I think
Don't
it's
get in
getting
that
yourself into
situation.
situations, not the caring
Yes.
less. Like, I don't think Lindsay understands that. Like, some people are more emotional and she's not. And so she
I was gonna
can't
say,
see
I
that
think
in
there
other
are
people.
people who don't give a fuck because I'm very
Yes.
much like that. If my feelings are hurt, you will not know, and I will do whatever I want and like not care.
Whereas I'm like I really hold it in and I will think about it. Like, if you hurt my feelings and it's not addressed or we don't ever talk about it, like, I will hold on to it probably for the rest of my life.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would get it out in
scares me.
therapy or something, but like, it would really upset me for a long time.
I think both of us are doing it wrong.
But I'm just saying, like,
nice
people are very, very
some people are
different.
very emotional.
And I don't think Lindsay
it does
can see that.
Yeah, I think it does come of you stop putting yourself in situations to be
Yes.
harmed like this.
Yes.
By a Muppet.
But it's not like, oh, 10 years and you'll just be a whole, you're going to be exactly like me. And I
think it's different. I think they're very different people.
Yeah.
So Lindsay then says she's also had a long history with Austin. But she is open to having conversation with Sierra because she's a normal girl. And Danielle and Maya are immediately like, no. I mean, we're not going to give you that much credit.
Yeah, no.
So then Paige, Sierra, and Amanda sit down and Paige tells them about being invited to Delaware. And she's like, I don't know if he wants to do that because the minute his parents meet me, it's game over. They will always ask about me.
Which I love that confidence. Like,
that's me. Parents love me.
I don't know why. Same, but it depends on the parent, because if they're not fun parents, they won't love me.
I can talk to any parent. Do you know how many of my friends are like, I recently just met my friend's boyfriend's parents and they literally always ask about me. They're like, I wish we had another son so that she could date it. And I'm like, oh my God.
A guy I went abroad with, my like friend is dating him. We all went abroad together and his parents still ask about me to this day. Like they visited us and I'm like, tell your parents I love them. If they want to go to a Cubs card game in Chicago, I'm in.
But yeah, she basically says Craig's trying to make it not a big deal, but like it's already a big fucking deal to Paige. So like,
but I do like that. I think Paige said this in the car, like, I'm not doing this unless I'm your boyfriend. Like, she won't get herself into this situation.
Yeah, she's not. She's like, this is boyfriend girlfriend territory. Yes. And I'm not.
And if you're not committing, then I'm not going.
Yeah. We all really quick FaceTime Mackenzie. Happy birthday. But Maya straight up, she's my dream friend. On the phone with Mackenzie, she's like, come back to New York. I will hang out with you if Carl doesn't want to hang out with you. Like,
yes.
Maya, do you want to hang out with me? My freaking God. So Carl then says he feels a little pressure to date Mackenzie and he's still feeling it out because he wants to be his own number one, which also in AA, and he
has to be.
Yeah, I've heard this. You're not supposed to get into a relationship if you've only been less than a year sober. You're supposed to wait for that 1 year mark to really focus on yourself and your sobriety. With
any big decisions, they say you're not supposed to really do that stuff. You're supposed to like focus on the process.
Sobriety. Yeah. So that's really, I think, the reason why he's taking it really slowly with Mackenzie, which is very fair. But yeah, he doesn't want to feel this pressure to bring Mackenzie to Kyle and Amanda's wedding, which is what Kyle really wants. Doesn't happen. Spoilers. It can happen. How do we get here? Craig's wearing some dumb hat as he talks to Andrea, and so does Carl. Carl's here too. Carl's very sweet and kind, and I love him. And Luke. Oh my God, you're right. My favorite.
The boys making dinner.
The boys, but Andrea's opening up about how he really misses home. When it hits him hard, and he's been feeling really lonely lately because there was this girl he liked right after Paige, and it didn't work out. Which I was like, in the past 2 weeks.
But no,
no. Give us the timeline, Meredith.
So, February 2021 is when they filmed Winter House. So then after Winter House, Paige and Andrea dated a little bit casually. They clearly ended things by the spring of 2021, not showing the month. And Paige was seeing a lot of different people, including Craig. And that spring 2021 is when Andrea was seeing Lexi. Then we get into closer to the summer and coming into the summer house, and Andrea broke things off with Lexi because he was curious about the possibilities with Paige.
Yes, but
And here we
now
are today.
things have ended with Paige. He can't get back Lexi, which I
Yeah,
feel if I'm
because
Lexi,
he
I'm not
said the
getting
door
back.
was closed. And what
Closed.
I think that means is that he was honest with Lexi and said,
Yes.
listen, I still have feelings
There's
for
another girl.
Paige. I'm gonna feel this out. And she was like, then we're done.
Because poor sweet Carl was like, are you sure it's over? Because he was about to tell Andrea to fight for it. And
But
Andrea
there's
was
no
like,
way that girl
no.
signed on to have her picture shared if him and Andrea or her and Andrea aren't like at least friendly. I bet they're friends, but it's like
I
this
bet they're
romantic
friends.
door is closed.
Well, if someone was nicely honest to me like that, like I still have feelings for another person, like I wanted
And I'm
to
going to be
explore
spending
that's
all
not fair to
summer
you,
with them.
I would understand. I would be like, you know what? I could be mad, but I'm like not as mad as I thought I'd be.
You know what we needed is Austin to just come into the house and say, hey, I may kiss Lindsay this weekend. We're really close like that.
He can't because he's not a fucking prize like Andrea. He's a muppet. But yeah, so Andrea has lost Paige, he lost Lexi, and he just feels lonely and he's heartbroken. And this is the first time the roommates are really like learning this about him.
I know. And especially
boys.
like he explains that like, you know, we already knew he was missing his family, but he's celebrating this little holiday thing because he can't go home to Italy. And
yeah,
can you imagine like kind of
really
being heartbroken
important.
after over 2 girls a little bit, and then also like not being able to go home to like your comfort zone?
This is like a really important moment for him. This dinner means a whole lot to him. The boys, I'm happy, like no.
Yeah.
And like
it just shows so much more because in the winter house, I think Andrea, I'm pretty sure, made pasta, and that was just like fun, like, oh, we're making Italian. But this gives us the whole reason, like, yeah, there's flags up and it's fun, but it's like it really means something to him.
Yeah, he was just the hot Italian in Winter House. Now he's like this man.
He's sweet baby Andrea.
Sweet baby angel. We love him. Okay, so it's 7:21 p.m. We're getting ready for Italian night. Andrea will not even let the girls help. He just wants them to drink some wine. He's so cute.
I just love him.
Craig's eating a ton of Parmesan. Dude can't fucking stop.
Hey, she's over oral. She's over oral.
That's oh, that was when they fell in love. That's when Paige and Craig totally fell in love. It was when they both agreed they would give up oral for cheese. And they were like, this could work. Sierra waxes her own armpits. And as someone who gets her armpits waxed, fucking hell, my girl.
Probably just desensitized.
It doesn't hurt the most, but that shit hurts. Man, I got questions.
She's got a lot of feelings inside, but not in her armpits.
She's either a savage or a serial killer. I do not know. That's nuts to me. I can't do any of it. I love getting waxed, but your armpits hurt. So Carl, again, I love these little Carl Maya moments. So Maya's going into Paige and Sierra's room and Carl's like, hey Maya, how's it going? And Maya's like, I'm okay. And Carl's like, that doesn't sound very good. And then she just is like, bye, and goes into this room and
he's just standing there. Like
Carl's left.
Okay.
Just there. Okay, fucking bye, Maya.
But she's on a mission.
She's on a mission. She's gonna stir that pot a little bit, just a little bit.
I appreciate it
because style.
I think it's like, hey, here's what's going down right now.
Just so you know.
So I need you to be prepared.
Maya tells Sierra what Lindsay said by the pool and said Lindsay's not taking responsibility for everything, which makes Paige and Sierra go, of course. Oh. Of course. So then Maya leaves and then Paige goes, Austin's the worst, but she's a close motherfucking second. And I was like, I know she's second, but my goodness, please don't ruin the dinner. I'm getting nervous.
Austin is the biggest piece of shit known on this earth. I'm sorry. Austin and Lindsay's just also there.
Yeah, Lindsay just doesn't give a fuck.
Yes.
Which like
Lindsay's just the closest target, and that's why she's getting a lot of heat.
Yeah. Austin.
Like if this was Winter House and like they were both here, Austin would get more of this.
I mean, we tried to give him more, and it ended up with the girls fighting each other and Danielle having to scream at everyone. Amazing. Anyway, I'm getting sweaty now for this dinner. I'm getting very sweaty for the dinner. I know it's getting
worse and worse because we know Sierra wants to confront Lindsay. Now we know that Lindsay still does not give two shits.
Meanwhile, Lindsay's downstairs telling Craig.
Oh my
about
God.
Austin
She's like
making
bragging.
out.
Oh my God.
She's like, yeah, Austin kept grabbing me and making out with me. And Craig goes, crazy different from Vermont when he didn't give you any attention.
Oh my God. I love Craig for that. I loved him for that. He's like,
He goes,
that's weird.
yeah.
180.
No, I cried at Lindsay going, yeah, you're right. And I was like, that she has no idea like what has happened.
No awareness of what's going on in this house right now.
It makes me seem like she doesn't really give a fuck about at all of this Austin. She doesn't give a fuck if Austin's kissing her. She doesn't give a fuck if Sarah's mad. She doesn't give a fuck if she's sleeping with that Argentinian.
She did give maybe just one fuck that Austin kind of snubbed her in Vermont. It's like the social in the TV aspect of getting like dissed on air, because then she gave a lot of fucks when he did that on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, but she did the right thing and cut his ass out.
Finally, somebody did the right thing and cut his ass out.
Finally. Or is Sierra still hanging out with Austin?
I have a lot of questions about that. I want those at the reunion.
If they get together, the world will explode. We will all hate it.
I'm gonna be pissed. I'm trying to think of the couple I hate the most from Bravo.
That'll be a contender.
I don't think there is anything in this league.
That'll be the worst. So then we go back up to Paige and Sierra, and this is when Paige is like, you got to bring out your full Italian and go ape shit on Lindsay tonight, which I was like, don't do it. No, that's not a good.
I agree, because all I was thinking was Real Housewives of New Jersey when Teresa flips the table. I'm like, I appreciate like people hyping people up to be like, listen, have confidence, like hyping people up for the right things, but going full Italian, as we all know, if anybody watched Real Housewives of New Jersey, if anybody has watched Jersey Shore, it is not good.
Don't bring it up at the family table, especially like not these people, but like poor Carl's not going to get involved in this, right? You're ruining Carl's dinner. You're going to ruin Luke's dinner. Like even Amanda's not going to get involved because she's friends with both of you. Like you're putting everyone in like kind of a weird situation.
You're ruining dinner, and especially
you're ruining Andrea
dinner.
You're ruining Andrea's fucking dinner.
I hate this.
Then Sierra starts crying again, and Paige finally again does the right thing and goes, he's a fucking loser.
Yes, I love this.
There's no way long-term you want this in your life. You're going to think like, this is what we should have been saying.
Yeah, this was amazing. Again, another shaking moment of like, and I like how she said, like, you were going to be so thankful he did this to you.
Yeah. This though on Twitter was very much overshadowed by everything else.
Yes, because like, this is what sucks about things is like we have some terrible, like Danielle said, like, why are two women fighting? This is the women like we want to see. We're like, you're building each other back up, and you're like picking someone off the floor because a guy sucks.
It's just it always makes me sad because women are so great. We're so freaking great.
And you know what? And if you don't get along with someone, that's okay, but you don't have to like just fight with them. Yes,
respect them.
Just coexist.
Okay. So it's 8:05. The pasta is plated. Everyone's getting together. Carl has a pasta shirt on.
I love it.
I can't believe we're gonna ruin this dinner.
It looked like a little like sleep shirt, like a little
it was
pajama shirt, and I was like, "You're just so adorable."
Okay, so I just want to say Paige loves Andrea's spread, is obsessed with it, and she's Italian. And I'm just saying, I know she broke things off, and I know she's with Craig, but I think in this life she was meant for Andrea. I think she picked differently, which is fine, but I think like if God had to put two people together, it would be Paige and Andrea.
I just think like, it's wonderful. Remember her mom a few weeks ago just being like, I love him.
He's Italian.
She
talks like the Italian anyway.
They get it. They're like thick as thieves.
They're like
the
Italianness. I know. Okay, so then Danielle speaks Italian. She thanks Andrea for this dinner. I didn't know Danielle knew Italian. Who the fuck
amazing. And I think Andrea was the most shocked.
He was so happy. He was like, oh my God, I can talk to someone slightly in Italian. She'll have no idea what I'm saying.
You know what? I bet that like made him feel really good because it's not like anybody really can speak Italian to him. There may be one or two people in New York. Maybe he knows, but like that, I bet how comforting that was to him.
And honestly, even if Danielle just learned that line for this dinner. That's like very nice.
I love it.
Either way, her saying it was very nice.
Participation and engagement in on this like event.
Yeah. We all thank Andrea for the Italian dinner holiday. And he shares that it's a tradition to have wine with friends and talk about love. So we're going to drink and we're going to talk about what love means to you, which I was like, this is so cute. We do a quick cheers to orgies.
At first I was like, oh my God, we're going to end on such a good note. Like, we're not going to talk.
I know. Okay, so Lindsay says to her, there are 4 pillars of love.
Well, first she goes, there are 4, and everybody goes, oh no, this is gonna take forever.
I know. Kyle goes, can I fill my drink? And she's like, okay. So she cuts it short, and it's trust, communication, respect, and love. Andrea thinks that love is being supported and staying up and staring at the person you love when they're sleeping, which was like kind of cute.
I was like,
I swooned.
When he says it in the accent, it's cute. When you repeat it back.
When I say it, it's just not, it's creepy.
I'm like, Alicia, please don't ever stare at me while I sleep.
And this is when Andrea gets really choked up and everyone's like, Andrea, what's wrong? And he just says he like misses his family. And because like, this is very
only those guys know what's going on. I think behind the scenes. So like to everybody else, this is just a fun party.
Exactly. Kyle then goes and says, true love is when you meet someone that makes you a better person and makes you want to wake up and do more and truly create something, which like causes Amanda
to lover boy.
I know, but Amanda like truly tears up and Kyle starts to tear up and he basically says like, I know I'm supposed to be engaged to you, which was like very cute. Like I was getting really choked up. I really loved all of this.
Because we know he's not like a romantic after her birthday. But he also says like it's so nice to like have a purpose and you know like this dinner is a nice reminder of why they got engaged. Like he has to think about it and like really I think they're sitting across from each other too, him and Amanda. So it's like he gets to look at her and kind of like give her like casual vows, I'll call them.
It's very cute. So then Sierra goes and she's been in a sour mood this whole dinner because you hear
doesn't Paige go?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Paige says it's unconditional love and you love everything about them, even the bad stuff. And Craig fucking laughs. He's like, oh, I'm awkward now.
Like, I've got a lot of bad stuff. I hope you love it.
Okay, now it's Sierra. And to be honest, Sierra has been in kind of a sour mood all night. Her face has not looked great. And you hear Lindsay and Danielle talking the whole time. Like, when you hear everyone conversing, I did not hear Sierra at all. They either turned off her mic and cut her lines out or she did not speak. Also, she's sitting next to Luke.
Of what that answer would be. Like, did they turn off mics or?
Because she's sitting in between Luke and Maya. And I'd imagine she would talk to Maya. Probably not Luke.
Yeah. I did notice how she wasn't right next to Paige.
She wasn't. Paige got her seat right next to Andrea, baby.
I love it.
Okay, so Sierra says love is mutual respect and security, and there's also love in friendship, and that's really important. And you just feel it. And she goes, "I need to address something," and I was like, "No."
I do have to say that was a pretty decent segue to start a fight.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna say it. I think Sierra does an okay job of explaining her feelings. I think she does a bad job at presenting it.
And I think she keeps looping around because she thinks like Lindsay's going to finally get it. Like she just needed to say it and then move on. Like either Lindsay accepts it or not. I feel like she started to go in circles and then was getting worked up and started raising her voice.
My other thing is when you're confronting someone, when you have your feelings, you want to present it as you hurt me, right? Like I am upset. So Sierra, I think her feelings are very clear how she feels. The problem was she kept going like, it's so fucking funny, Lindsay, how you don't give a shit about, like she was attacking, which is going to make Lindsay instead defensive. Of saying,
I feel this way when this happened.
Yeah. I was upset and she could have said something like, I understand you were excited for Austin, but I was also excited. And I just felt like like whatever friendship we had was not respected, like something like that. Instead, she's like, you're a shady ass bitch. She doesn't care.
You knew that I was excited for him to come, and you knew. And Lindsay's like, I didn't know. I didn't know.
See, and then that's going to cause anyone to get defensive.
Yes.
Especially Lindsay. Like, so I think her feelings are clear. She presented them horribly, which caused Lindsay to act horribly.
Yes.
So it's all bad. So Paige is excited. Paige got her wine. She is happy, which also made me kind of nervous because like, I know I'd be happy to see this, but also like, this is not the vibe. Like if this was anywhere else, I'd be like, I'm doped down, but then I'm going to look at Andrea and be like, I'm very sad now.
I know. Remember that bar we went to the Friday night before Lindsay's party, or her party? I was like, that's the place we can do a throwdown drag out fight, not this red wine glass Italian flags everywhere at home.
Yeah, no one can escape this table. How awkward when you get up from a table like this. Like okay, so Andrea's upset already. You can see it in his face. He knows.
I think he has been upset since his talk. He's like in his feels, and then I think this is just making it more dramatic and more emotional.
Yeah. So Sierra starts out, she's at her wit's end with Lindsay because Lindsay should have some respect.
Which I was like, all right, good. That's a decent, decent line.
Yeah. Sierra doesn't understand the hostility. And if Lindsay really wanted to pursue things with Austin, she would have stepped back in Vermont.
I like that one.
But Lindsay has disregarded and disrespected her. And then it cuts to Kyle, who's fucking eating when no one else is. This man is slurping his paws.
Only Kyle can eat at all times.
He's like, I have no idea what they're saying.
He's probably hammered.
It's getting cold. Yeah. It's getting cold. The disrespect of us not eat. You want to talk disrespect, Sierra? Our pasta's getting cold. Okay. So, then she thinks it's funny that Lindsay isolates her victims to be affectionate with them. And that's when I was like, oh, no.
That's when Danielle goes, oh, no, you don't.
Oh, well, Danielle's like, she's pissed. Danielle's now visibly pissed. And there was
Danielle was on board with like Sierra sharing her feelings, but the this is at Lindsay that don't really have much to do. I think Austin isolates them. I don't think Lindsay isolates them.
No, Austin clearly Austin was like, hey, Sierra, come this way. Like, hey, Lindsay, come this way. Lindsay would openly make out with Austin on top of Sierra if she
remember
wanted
the pool
to.
Situation? She was straddling him so hard.
You can't say Lindsay cares enough to isolate and also say she doesn't give a fuck. Okay. This bitch does not give a fuck. So Danielle's pissed. One of my favorite tweets was like, Sierra had a lot of balls going up against these two. Like I could never. And I was like, I would never.
Same.
No, because you want to talk about unconditional love? Danielle and Lindsay unconditionally love each other.
They're both pretty vocal.
Yeah.
Like Danielle will sit back on certain things, and I really respect that for her. But like when you go and make a comment against her friend, she's gonna start.
Yeah. She's like,
she's activated.
You can talk about how you were disrespected, blah, 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 but you're not going to come and call her makeouts victims.
Yes.
We're going
to, so it's not the same for Paige and Amanda. Like they don't get activated off of this. Like they'll get involved. Like Paige got involved to explain Sierra's side, I think, to try and communicate her side a little bit better, but not to defend her really.
No. And Amanda's not going to get involved.
Hard no.
She's friends with both of them.
Amanda's too nice to
Amanda's a
fight.
Beautiful Switzerland. She would never.
Yes.
So Lindsay does not move a muscle. She's trying not to laugh. She was just staring at Sierra go nuts. She's like,
grind my gears. I would
do
yelling
this
louder. This is my intent. This is my intent. But if I'm already emotional and I'm Sierra, this makes it worse, I would do if someone just starts yelling at me like this, I'd be like, it's the best way to be in an argument. But it fires the other person up even more. I know. I do it. But when I'm fired up, I don't get that fired up often. You have to really usually I'm a strategic fighter. Mm-hmm. I pick your fighter wisely. It's me, but this is hilarious. So, so
Sierra says something like, every time you make out with Austin, like you're just trying to get back at me. And then Lindsay's like, you are not on my mind. Like another queen moment of like, she's not riled up and she's basically like,
you're not
dismissing Sierra, which is like not great, but like also hilarious. So then, Andrea is visibly crying in this moment. Yes. It's not funny. It was just like, what happened? Like, not what happened.
It's like a separate thing. It's just like also happening. And so Amanda like checks on him, which is super sweet.
Luke checks on him.
Luke takes him outside. Yeah.
It's like very sweet.
It's to be honest, listen, I understand that Andrea's having a rough night, but I'm like, I can't maintain both of these things at once. Andrea, I care about you more.
We should have never cut to Andrea and Luke in that.
We should have done that next episode.
Yes. We should solely focus on Andrea next episode.
It really threw me off. I was like, oh wait. Okay.
We're in the middle of a fight. Andrea gets out and basically is sobbing.
Yes.
And like my whole heart hurt because it goes from like an argument where I'm like, Lindsay's doing a really good job.
I'm like kind of leaning in.
Like I'm like,
whoa.
It's like not a tennis match because Lindsay doesn't.
But you're like tracking everybody at the table.
I'm like, what's happening? Meanwhile, then Andrea's crying and I'm like, wait, now I'm sad. Yeah. Like I'm so upset. But he's very upset about Lexi. And then we like cut right back to Sierra and Lindsay. Sierra's pissed that Lindsay's selfish, but Lindsay's like, it was my birthday, whatever. So Sierra says Lindsay should have taken her feelings into consideration more because Austin didn't want anything to do with Lindsay in Vermont. And this sets up Danielle because then Danielle basically goes, shut the fuck up. Like, just shut the fuck up.
Which, I mean, but she isn't wrong. Sierra isn't wrong, though.
Sierra's not wrong. But Danielle, again, wants all the blame to be on Austin, which is not 100%. There's a slight blame on Lindsay of, I think you should give a fuck. I'm not going to sit here and be like,
And the other comment that Sierra made about, like, the victim thing is what I think turned Danielle on to be in the fight. And then it's like, anything you say against Lindsay, now I'm coming at you.
Danielle went from like sitting back and hating it to like perking up and making eye contact to saying, shut the fuck up. Yeah, she's engaged. Also, I'm sure she saw Andrea get escorted out. So she's just done. She's like, you've ruined all our nights. So then Paige steps in and explains Sierra's point a little bit and basically says, whatever happened with Austin, it doesn't matter. You knew Sierra would be upset. Yeah. And again, this is Lindsay. Lindsay just doesn't give a fuck. Plus she was like, it was 5 months ago. I didn't really think about you, which is like also hilarious.
Funny. I was like, you're right. Funny. I want to know what's been going on in between.
There are a lot of other people where it's like Luke, we were like, you should be over it. Him and Sierra haven't been together for a while. 5 months is a solid
So
time.
I need to know what's been going on. If there has been anything going on in between.
I think the issue is they haven't been around each other. So she's romanticizing it.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think Sierra in her mind, which is fair. I romanticize everything. Yeah. I think Sierra romanticized it. And then she's
they maybe seen each other like once.
Yeah. Austin's going to come. He's going to like love to be around me. He's going to
It's going to be just like Vermont.
It's going to be great. And then it's not.
Yeah.
So she's like, but Lindsay then is like, I have romanticized.
Lindsay's like, because we've moved on. We've moved out of Vermont. It's been 5 months. I also think
Lindsay has been through a lot in 5 months, right? She had the miscarriage. She's been having a hot summer. She's been worried about her eggs. Like she's not really focused on romanticizing things with a man right now. So I don't think she gets like, you've been waiting around 5 months to come up at Austin. Like, whatever. I went through a miscarriage. Like, fuck you. And I think that's also why Danielle's very protective. She's like, don't come at my friend who's been
She's
through
living
a lot.
Life. She's living her life. And
let her
we
live
want to keep it like that.
Yeah, she was very upset for a long time, not living life. Yeah. Anyway, though, so Craig then tries to help and goes, I don't know about you guys, but I'm mad at Austin.
He's like, I wasn't here, but you know what? Austin sucks. Can we
the enemy.
I actually feel like this is a good strategy.
This is
to
great.
Be like, hey, we all hate Austin. We all hate Austin.
There's a common enemy. We should all turn against.
He's not here, but we can all throw daggers at him from afar.
But he also says something along the lines. He says something along the lines of like, I won't admit it, but I hate Austin the most. Like he says something where he's like, I'm not going to tell him. So then he calls Austin. He's like, hey man, I love you. These two hate you, not because of me, because of them, but I'm just here.
Oh gosh. But that does not help.
Then no, Sierra's like, because Maya also was like, yeah, Austin's the enemy. And then Sierra goes, yeah, but also Lindsay. And then she's like, you know who else I'm mad at? And she starts to like kind of point at Danielle
yeah,
too.
well, she says like, it's not just this, like you guys have just disrespected me like other times too. She's like
Lindsay
don't tell me
and you
that Austin's the problem, because I'm going to bring up other reasons why I'm mad at Lindsay.
Which you can't, if you have an issue with the Austin, I just listened to a really good podcast on this. It's very weird when you're like, 10 months ago, you insulted me. It's like, why are you bringing it up to me 10 months ago?
Yes.
You know, it's like, yeah. But then, so yeah, she starts to point the finger at Danielle, and Danielle's activated. She's
like, oh,
ready
now you're
to
pulling me in this? Hell no.
Don't pull me into this. So Danielle's trying to talk, but Sierra's like yelling over her. And then Sierra stands up and starts pointing, which this would piss me off. This is when you get me up like Danielle. I'd be like, you're not going to do this.
I hate whenever people are like, stop pointing whenever you're far away from them. But when you're near someone pointing, it is a very like.
Sierra was going in over the table.
It like,
I'm coming. Yes. So then Danielle stands up and is like, you're not going to get your finger on my face. Like, you're not going to disrespect. Like, we're not going to do this. And then Sierra throws a like wine at Danielle.
Yes.
And then throws the glass. Which is like not, and then it's broken up.
Danielle throws the glass back.
Yeah. Wait, Sierra gets like escorted from like away a little bit
from like, and then production or security.
Yeah, and then Danielle throws the glass up with a throne,
and Craig grabs her.
So where's Carl? He left.
Yeah, wait, right next to Danielle. WTF.
Okay, just a thought. I don't like I said, I've never been mad enough to throw something. It's never. I don't understand it. I do think like actual physical violence is like just kind of lame. Not lame, but like it's dumb. Like you look
Learn
dumb
how to
when
process
you
your emotions differently. Yeah. It doesn't need to get there no matter how mad you are.
Yeah. But if someone's throwing something at me, I'm throwing something back. No, I don't think I would.
I don't think I would. I think I'd be so stunned. I would be like shocked that somebody did that.
I would be like, oh, I would almost be like, you look dumb for doing that. Like I would say something like that.
Like I may deflect it in a sense, or like, you know, defend yourself from something. Oh my God. Like, yeah, it's like somebody tried to slap me or hit me. I would try and like stop them. I wouldn't like throw one back.
I would go, get out of here, little girl. With my finger in the air. Little girl. But yeah, and then it's to be continued. So you know what's going to happen next week? We're going to relive this fight. And this is, Danielle has opened up of like, this some other things going on. It was like very upsetting. Quick, because I know we're not short on time, but kind of short on time. I don't know. There's no Watch What Happens Live. It was an old one. I asked, are you pro prenup? And we've had 13 people vote yes. No one's voted no. Everyone's very pro prenup on our Instagram.
Yay. Which, okay, this has been a problem across many Bravo shows, like Teresa. Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live, and her and Gia got really like heated about prenups.
Gina got really heated. She's like, why would my mom get a prenup? And Andy goes, why wouldn't she get a prenup?
Yeah.
I also asked, are you getting Mean Girl vibes from Paige and Sierra?
I accidentally hit no when I was going next. I didn't want to vote in this.
That's fine. 12 people said yes, and 2 people said no if I take out Meredith's thing. I asked them.
I don't think Paige is a mean girl. I don't think she is.
I think Paige would bully me in high school.
I think Sierra is being a mean girl, but I don't think Paige is. I think Paige is having some not great moments, but I'm not ready to call her a mean girl. That's why I didn't want to answer.
I think Paige would bully the fuck out of me in school. I'm very scared of her. I want to be her friend, but that's
what a good bully does.
Yeah, she scares the fuck out of me.
I'm not saying
she bully. I asked if you're here for Hot Hub Summer. 12 people said yes, 1 person said no, and 1 person said sometimes, but not this time. That was an option I put. They changed the polls.
I didn't even read that option. Damn it, I would have said sometimes, but not right now.
They they changed the polls on me, so I had to like redo a bunch. I had to like figure out a different day. I asked, who are you being stuck in a tornado with? Because there was a tweet that said, I'm being stuck with Luke. Dude's resourceful.
He's the most resourceful, but Andrea brought all the food.
That's true. I asked, do you agree that in your late 20s or in mid 30s, you stop giving a fuck? And 9 people said yes, and 1 person said no. I don't know. I think it depends on the person.
I think it's just different. I think a lot of people chill out for sure, but I don't think you stop giving a fuck.
I think you stop putting yourself in situations.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So they had a picture. So you know how the Oscars were last night, and they did pictures of everyone's stunned face when Will Smith hit Chris Rock, which again was like, I don't understand
what like crossover we're having right now.
Also, I can't believe he won. Andrew Garfield was robbed.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's go on.
Anyway, they did one of those, like, look at everyone's face when that was happening.
Yeah.
So Summer House did one of like everyone's face at the dinner. And I said, who are you? I'm Danielle. Danielle's just like, what the fuck? And 2 people have said Danielle, and then we've got no other votes. And then my last one was, do you think Sierra did a good job airing out her grievances? 4 people said yes, 6 people said no. I think she did to an extent. I think her grievances
pretty decent for like being fucking terrified.
Yeah. But yeah, so those were my polls. I didn't have a lot of time to think about it because we recorded right after the episode. But maybe I'll have more thoughts tomorrow. Usually I process.
I'm Paige in this photo, the lockup of all the people. She's like, oh yes.
I like also kind of feel Kyle a little bit, where he's just like,
okay, this like fun, not fun is difficult.
Oh, I forgot we got to do that. I always forget that. Sorry, because like the thing.
So much of it was this little fight, and I don't really want to give a not fun because I don't like the entire fight.
This fight was like not enough. This was like the last 10 minutes of the episode.
I'm just gonna say the fight is not fun because like I think Sierra shouldn't have done that stuff. I just don't like how like out of touch Lindsay's being in it too. So it's like hard for me to like
separate it.
Yeah. So it's the whole thing for me.
Okay. I put the fight. So basically I'm going to put Sierra and Lindsay for you. Because usually at the end I pick a person that.
Yeah. That works for me.
I'm going to pick Paige. I think she was okay sometimes, but I didn't love the slut shaming. I didn't love the constant Lindsay's the issue. I think she sometimes pointed in the right direction. I don't love hyping your girl up to start a fight at the dinner table. But if you're gonna hype your girl to start a fight up at the dinner table, you gotta be ready to fight like Danielle. You can't just like not.
That's a good point.
Wasn't gonna get involved, which I like didn't love.
If you're gonna hype your friend up, you better sit the fuck next to her at that dinner table.
Yeah, there had to be more. I feel like I would have been okay with Paige hyping it up if she was like right there with her. I don't know. I didn't love Paige this episode, and I do think Paige would bully me in high school. She's not the type to say hi to everyone. She would flick her hair in my face. And as someone who has been bullied in high school, this bitch would totally bully my ass. Yes. I hope she doesn't anymore as an adult because I'm terrified of her. Lindsay wouldn't give a fuck enough to bully me.
Who would you fund then?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm giving it to Maya for her badass
that's a good one.
Her fun little moments with Carl. For her, and I feel like this is also bonding her and Danielle a little bit. Like, her laying in bed with Robert and Danielle. She like was a star, and I feel like we're getting to see more of her. I forget
her date was the best.
Who was DMing the Instagram last week, and we were talking about like how we haven't gotten to see a lot of Maya just because there's been a lot of other things. So I'm really hoping that this is starting a trend to like really getting to know her.
I loved her date. I thought it was fantastic.
Me too.
I'm actually gonna fund Andrea.
Ooh.
I think he really opened up to the house in a great way, and I really enjoyed that. I feel sad that he cannot be with his family, but I was very happy that I felt like he had a summer house family that he could be with. I love that Luke is really being a friend to him, and I think he needs that. And yeah, I like seeing more of Andrea as well, because we didn't get a ton of him in Winter House. And then all we've gotten so far is that he's like Paige's hot Italian. I like seeing more. I like learning about him. I think
this house loves a good theme.
Oh, it's a great theme. 10 out of 10. This was a good episode. Very funny.
I'm just like stressed for like the opening of the next one. I just want to like have fun and figure out how the hell Amanda and Kyle get married. That's all I want out of this.
7 weeks, 7 more weeks.
Oh man.
We'll get there. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Be sure to join our Patreon, patreon.com/vanderpasta. Follow us on Instagram @vanderpasta. Leave us a review.
Leave us a fun review.
I hope it's 5. Honestly, if you have grievances, give us that 5 stars and then tell us, because now we're aware that we do use big words such as whereabouts, but we should use wherewithals. You laugh, but now I'm concerned because I pride myself on grammar.
And even please send us the episode and timestamp if you know where that is. Someone's going to
listen to this episode and be like, Alicia pronounced it Argentinians, and it was just bad.
Oh, Lordy. Alicia's spiraling, so we're going to go. But thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.